We're going to get started with an opening statement from Coach Ivey and then go to question and answer for the student athletes. So with that, we'll turn over to you, Coach.
Well, really excited about this win. First, I'd like to thank South Bend. It was a sold-out crowd. The energy was amazing. We had the most student tickets and student section of our program's history, so I was really, really excited for that and just excited to see the buzz that's here in South Bend because of women's basketball and obviously our program. It was a little bit ugly, I felt like, defensively. We found a way with foul trouble with this team. I thought these two did a phenomenal job of just leading us. Started with AD. It's her first NCAA game, so I was really, really excited for her. Something that just coming to this game, I was just something that we talked about in the recruiting process of you wanting to go postseason, and it meant a lot to me today. And the fact that you were the last person to get called in the starting lineup, I thought that was just cool. Icing on the cake. So really happy the way that AD started this. The game, I thought she shot the ball really well. Thought we had a lot of great support and a lot of great things happened within our entire team. But I thought Sonia was so solid for us. She had a quiet, almost 30 piece, always so solid, does so much for us. So we're just looking forward to Monday's matchup, again, survive and advance, and just really proud of this group.
And we can now go to question and answer for the student athletes. You can just raise your hand. They'll be passing around a microphone.
Tyler Horka, Blue and Gold Illustrated. For Anna, you got off to a hot start, like Coach said. How'd you just kind of compose yourself, like with this being your first NCAA tournament game, and kind of give your team what it needed in that moment in the first quarter?
Yeah, I think I was actually talking to one of my classmates the other day about just like enjoying every moment and knowing that like I get another chance to step on this court and wear this jersey. It just means a lot, and I think just enjoying every second and trying to remind myself like why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing, and just truly enjoying every second that I get to step on this court with my friends.
And then for Sonia, Coach called a timeout kind of late in the fourth, midway through the fourth, and then you guys went on a 10-2 run after that. So just kind of how did y'all compose yourself? Because Kent State was making its run, but then you guys kind of made the run that closed the game out.
Yeah, I think, again, just staying poised. Basketball is a game of runs, and we knew that it was our mistakes, like we were doing it to ourselves, so we kind of just had to clean it up and just lock in and just stay poised. They went on their run, so just lock in on defense and just keep pushing it.
Jeffrey Clark, Fighting Irish Wire. Sonia, it seemed like a lot of your passes were coming straight from Hannah, especially on the break. So can you just talk about the chemistry that you two have developed over the course of this season, especially with this being her first season?
Yeah, Hannah's a great point guard. She's going to find you if you're open. So I think just credit to her. She was finding me in transition, and I was running, trying to get ahead of Kent State. So I think she just did a good job finding me, and this is, it's coming to the end of the season, so I think we've just been playing together for so long, so we've kind of just built that chemistry, just playing together.
And Anna, like Coach said, this was your first NCAA tournament game, so how was it that you were able to get off to such a nice shooting start in that first quarter with all the jitters that come with the tournament, and obviously it must have been kind of mind-boggling that you were able to get so much success early on?
I think just locking into our scout and knowing what we have to do as a team and just go in and play our game.
Eric Hansen, Inside ND Sports. I remember this time. Sonia, just following up on the passing question, the spin pass that Hannah got to you. Maybe you don't even remember it because it's so routine. I just wondered if that's routine for her in practice.
Was that the bounce? The bounce pass?
Yeah, bounce.
It was hard. I couldn't even see the pass because the Kent State girl was like in the line of it. So I just saw the bounce pass coming to me. So I honestly didn't even see her pass it, but knew that she was gonna find me through that little, I don't know what you call it, but yeah, I didn't really see it. But credit to Hannah. She's a great passer. So.
It seemed like the offense got a little bit bogged down in the third quarter, and Coach likes to talk about what you can learn from games, both wins and losses. Maybe what do you guys take as a learning experience from this game?
Is that for me or?
That's for Sonia and Anna.
Okay.
Answer it.
Sorry. I think regarding the third quarter, right? Was that your question? The third quarter in our offense. I think we were just getting stagnant. I think we were settling for outside shots. So just keeping the ball moving and driving, kicking, and just keep moving. I think we were getting a little stagnant.
Tom Noyes, South Bend Tribune.
No, we can hear you.
Anna, how important was it for you to play in an NCAA tournament in your career?
That was the biggest reason why I transferred. And when I got on my first call with Coach Ivey, she said to me, like, this is what you want, this is where you need to come. And she said to me that if you come here, we're going to win a championship. So the ACC tournament was definitely super special, but being here in March Madness, it's even more special.
You want to treat every game the same, but what was it like waking up this morning knowing you're going to play in an NCAA tournament game for the first time in your career?
It was really exciting. Yeah, I think that's it. It's simple. It was really exciting.
Kurt Rollo, Associated Press. Sony, can you elaborate on what enabled you to have that kind of start you had and spark that 18-0 run?
Yeah, I mean, I think my teammates were just finding me in, and I was just getting good positions to shoot, and I was knocking them down. And then I think I was getting a lot of my points off of just transition. So it's pretty easy, just open layups. So it was, it was just, yeah.
How many do we miss?
Matt Lucas, Goshen News. For either one of you guys, the assist number was pretty high early on in this game. How important is it for you guys to have multiple players touch every possession and share the ball around the field of the game early on?
I think that's what makes our team so special. Like, we have such, not depth, but like depth in like who can score and whose night it's going to be. And I think that's why it makes it so hard to guard us, because it's anyone's given day.
And then going with off the depth, I mean, you guys had the foul trouble early on, later on today. How do you guys work through that, through the moment when you know that there's not many people that you can have come off the bench and you have to hold yourself accountable in defense?
Yeah, Coach talks a lot about adjusting to the refs. I think we struggled a little bit with that today, myself included. But I think just adjusting to what the refs are calling is really important for us, especially down the stretch.
Any additional questions for our student athletes?
Hi there, Joan Rosenblum, Record Courier. Just curious, Coach mentioned the environment, and it was, I mean, the stadium was filling up 30, 45 minutes before the game, had, great buzz to the arena all night. Just, I'd be curious to hear the student athlete's perspective on what it was like tonight out there.
Go ahead.
It was amazing. I mean, playing basketball in that kind of environment, just seeing how much support we have from our students, just all of South Bend, it's an incredible feeling, and I think it really, it just inspires us, playing basketball on that court when after you hit a three or whatever, good defensive stop, whatever it is, just hearing the crowd, it really plays into the game, so it meant everything.
We'll have time for 2 more questions for our student athletes if anyone has any. All right, thank you to our student athletes. You guys are dismissed to head back to the locker room. Also, just as a note, the locker rooms are open to the media if you'd like to speak with other players as well. So with that, we'll go to our question and answer for Coach Ivey.
Good luck, Coach.
Thanks.
See you in a little.
So questions?
Tyler Horka, Blue and Gold Illustrated, right here, Coach. I asked Sonia about that timeout. I'm curious why you thought that you needed to take that in that moment, and just kind of what was said, and then what you thought of the response by the team as well.
Right, I thought that they were gaining momentum from our defensive lapses, and I thought we turned the ball over multiple possessions. So I wanted to regroup with the group, with the team, and just talk about what we needed to do defensively. Like she mentioned, I thought we settled for a lot of outside jumpers, and so we didn't get a chance to get either downhill or paint touches, and so that's why I talked about I just needed to we needed to regroup and just really focus on our defensive lapses that we were having at that moment.
And then speaking of defense, with the foul trouble, it seems like you guys have done a good job of staying out of it, even with the low numbers. Do you feel like that's as bad as it gets with 3 players finishing with 4? Obviously, fouling out is possible, but
Yes.
if that's as bad as it gets and it does get better, then do you think that you're in a pretty good spot knowing what you guys need to do the rest of this tournament?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, we had a game versus Pitt where I had Maddie out with a concussion, fouled out Nat, so we ended with almost having to play one of our scholarship player walk-ons that turned to a scholarship player. So we've been in this environment or had this experience before. So I'm hoping that was the worst of it. But like AD said, you have to adjust, and I didn't think that we adjusted in in a timely manner. I thought we fouled and had some defensive lapses that put us in a bad situation with foul trouble. And hopefully that was a lesson for us, and then we could, do better on Monday.
Jeffrey Clark, Fighting Irish Wire. Coach, you won a national championship as a player and another one as an assistant coach, so you know what this tournament is like. Hannah and Anna had not played in the tournament before this, so did you tell them anything specific about playing this tournament before today?
Yes, I told the entire team just in general of March Madness and what that means, and also just had a side conversation with AD. And then another conversation with Hannah. When you've never been in this moment, you don't understand the magnitude of it. And so I knew that they were both going to be really excited. And, again, having AD have this moment, but also being the last person in the starting lineup, I thought that was just really special for her. But it is a constant conversation. I talk to them about watching games so they can see what it feels like with other teams. There's a lot of upsets that happened yesterday on the men and women's side. So we've talked about that and what that means as far as coming out here with the sense of urgency to play for great basketball for 40 minutes, no matter what the seeding or no matter having home court advantage. So we've talked about it all week.
When you were addressing the crowd after the last regular season game, you more or less indirectly gave a plea to have the tournament committee have games here for the tournament. So once you realized that you were in fact going to host the tournament, what was going through your mind?
I was so excited. The last regular season game, sold out arena, it was so packed. The energy was amazing. And the buzz in South Bend is just incredible. And so I was really grateful. And I was praying that we had the opportunity to bring great women's basketball back here and to play here. And so that was a really big blessing. But credit to the team. We had to play 5 ranked teams right after that. In that whole stretch, and 3 games back-to-back in the ACC tournament. And we've worked to put ourselves in this position, so I'm really grateful.
Coach, your man defense in the first half was really good. I can understand why you started out in that, but what's the calculator on when you got to get out of that to go to the zone? What pushed you the other direction?
Right. Well, foul trouble number 1, and then I thought that they were doing a great job of getting downhill. You could tell, off of make or miss, they were head to the rim, and so I felt like we needed to have a little bit more containment within our zone to try to slow them down, and so that's what sometimes forces me to do it.
The Kent State coach yesterday said the analogy is Hannah looks like a kid at recess on a sugar high. It looked like in the third quarter, maybe that was true. What turned up the volume, the gear for her? It looked like she found another gear in the third quarter.
Yes, I think probably the energy of the game. She was probably a little bit of jitters initially. Some of her shots weren't falling, and then she finally got a couple steals, got some couple easy wide open baskets and full court off of her defensive energy, and I thought that really ignited her. Got to the free throw line, so she saw some shots go down. I thought that's when she got her second win.
Coach Jonah with the Record Courier again. Just curious, obviously you guys took a big lead when you held them scoreless for 7 minutes, I think, in the first quarter. Got out to a big run in the second quarter, but they kept hanging around. And I'm just curious, you obviously watched a lot of film on them. You don't get to play them much.
Right.
What did you make of Kent State? They just would not go away all game long.
Yeah, they're a really tough team. I watched them a lot. He does a fantastic job. They have a lot of 3-level scorers. They play with the tenacity. They're very disciplined. They play really good defense and force you to take a lot of contested twos. So I thought they played really well. They've coming off of the MAC championship. They're playing at a high level, and like I said, he does a really great job there. So I was very impressed by them.
Do we have any additional questions for Coach Ivey?
I'm just curious what you made of Sonia's play today. It just seemed like all the time she's that player that can give you the big bucket when you need it. It's not like y'all needed a bunch of big buckets today, but she got a bunch of them anyway. So just how good was she tonight?
She was fantastic tonight, and she's what we needed as far as just settling our offense down. Again, we took a couple outside jumpers, didn't get a lot of the O boards that I wanted, and we were kind of one shot and done. And I thought when the ball went through her hands, something great happened. She shot with confidence. She took the right shots. She played with great pace, and she's one of those players, defensively or offensively, that I know I can count on. She's one of our glue players that does so many things well, and she really helped us get going today.
All right. Thank you very much, Coach.
Thank you.
All for